Hey, it's
Okay.
us. We're here. We have audio. We fixed it.
Did you actually play the intro song? Because I didn't see it on the stream.
Yeah, I played it.
Might have just been my stream not showing it. But hey, technology, everyone, makes our
We
lives
fixed it.
better. Hello, audience. Can you hear and see us? Please confirm in the chat. Kaitu
Hello.
confirms.
We're all good.
And
Right.
Monaret that they were sufficiently rocked by Jeff's rockage.
One bird.
Excellent.
One bird
In
is
that
here.
case, I shall commence.
Ooh.
Hello, internet friends and webcomic fans. It is your friendly neighborhood dungeon biologist welcoming you to another episode of Trash Heroes, the D&D stream where we recount the epic adventures of a wildly improbable collection of horrible creatures known as the Trash Heroes. Our players, as always, are this collection of talented internet cartoonists that you can see here. I spread my hands gesturingly. Please do check out all of their work, as always, in the doobly-doo in the upper, I'll point both ways because I always forget. In the upper right-hand side, you'll find everybody's links to their websites and their social medias and all that kind of good gravy. Please
Social media,
go
what's
and
that?
support your local artists. There are Patreon links for everybody. There is also a Patreon for the stream itself in the description below. I've been posting some new shit there, and I'll probably continue to post some new shit there. It's not a PG-13 show, so I can swear all I like.
Fuck ass.
So I
balls.
shall. That's right. Those old piss balls.
Booby
Hate,
butts.
hate it when my balls are piss.
Good old piss balls definitely sounds like referring to someone.
Mm-hmm. He's a
Piss
quaggle.
Balls McGee is back at it again, guys.
Good old piss balls me. Okay, I gotta write up a new
Go
NPC.
mines.
I'm writing up a new NPC as we speak. Without further ado, let us meet the characters. First up, there is the keeper of the vermin and protector of the trash heap. It is Fetid Quaggle.
That's me. I had mic problems, but they're fixed now.
Yay.
Hurrah! Next up is the larger-than-life pit fighting superstar, Oogna Sugar Tusks.
Yeah, it's bone crushing time.
Crush those bones.
Crush their
That also
bones.
sounds dirty. Next up is the trickster cleric, rogue baker, and all-around party animal, Tromlin Darioles.
What's up, sluts? True endearment for my people.
It's true.
Currently off camera, but joining us shortly is the wild magic streaming sensation. Yeah, I got that right.
Wild
Morgan
streaming
V.
magic.
Sater.
Now on Disney Plus.
You have to like and subscribe to get access to seeing my visage. Thank you very much.
Don't look, you have to pay.
An extremely G-rated OnlyFans.
Yes.
And finally, our sweet old grandpa,
Wait,
who also...
Satyr, is it only pans?
Ah,
Good.
we did it. That's
Good.
it.
Love it.
We win
Well,
D&D.
good night, folks.
Goodbye.
We successfully dungeoned and dragoned. And finally, our sweet old grandpa, who's also accidentally an ancient warlock, Copernicus Sunshine.
A horrifying catchphrase.
Excellent. Excellent.
So before we get into it, I've been meaning to say this to Alina since I've started playing Baldur's Gate 3. I don't know if you have played it at all, Alina.
I haven't,
But,
because it will consume my life. And I have a
Yeah,
deadline.
there's a character, Karlach. She's a tiefling barbarian,
Oh.
and she is literally just Oogna. It's
Oh my
just
god.
Oogna.
Oh my
It's
god.
incredible. Like, right down to the mannerisms and the delivery.
no.
It's just Oogna.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's really
What
good.
if Oogna was a
She's a great
tiefling?
character.
I have,
Amazing.
in fact, noticed in the past when different mainstream D&D type products, whether they're actually wizards or licensed by wizards or something else, I have noticed a tendency to see rules mechanics and even characters that I have seen in various
Streams.
online media stream, like it is, I'm not specifically accusing that one, but it has definitely been the case in the past that there is a certain amount of content mining, which is obviously why it's a big deal to have like the DMs Guild and all that stuff. It's how their business model works to a certain extent.
I now know
So-
I'm going to romance when I play Baldur's Gate.
Oh man, her romance, very cute.
Good.
And
Excellent.
very
Wouldn't that
Oogna.
just be masturbation?
That's a little weird.
Yeah, is that a form of masturbation?
I don't know.
I don't
All right.
For Shadow
When
Soul's
Jim's
good
up,
too.
fantasizes about Minsk. Is that anyway? Is that self-love? So I now I'm just picturing Jim Zub writing like Minsk Conan fanfic. Of course.
Now Keith.
Now they kiss. Hey. We love you, Jim, if you're watching.
Yeah.
So I shall recap. The last game began in mid-combat because of hordes of ice barbarians swarming through an arcane gate created by Eliphas Darkmoor, the leader of the Raven cult. Tromlin had gone missing, along with his siblings and his offspring, which was very ominous. Ugna and Captain Darius were in hand-to-hand combat with the barbarians. Copernicus was using a gem of true seeing to keep tabs on the now invisible Eliphas. Morgan was maintaining a storm sphere around the portal, and also, by the way, is now bright blue. That's an ongoing curse. So Morgan, you will continue to be bright blue until further notice. And the badly injured Lord
song up now.
Yeah, and the your blue dabba and the badly injured Lord Mayor of Mudhollow was crawling off into the crowd while Fetid was distracted, along with most of the nobles and soldiers of the Great Hall, enraptured by a hypnotic vortex created by the deranged pixies. The party members had all broken free from this, but so had the ice barbarians because of the damage they'd taken, and the fight was in earnest. Meanwhile, we cut to Tromlin's sister Lobelia, who had incapacitated him with a wand of paralysis, and he and his daughter Webby were being whisked out of the hall along with various fleeing nobles to the upper story guest quarters. Tromlin was still unconscious, but noticed the eerie Greytower twins, Zook and Zaya Greytower, calmly striding up the stairs, heading further up to the heights of the Citadel, perhaps to do some magical mischief, which we figured out later. Just as he was being tied up by the guards and his siblings were taking out some evil-looking potions and implements to use on him, Tromlin took a black token in order to have a rescue effected by the dashing silhouette of the notorious El Gato that appeared at the door. With his aid, Tromlin broke free out of his paralysis, shot a guiding bolt at the potions, which caused a massive magical explosion, which coated the room
my siblings are scarred for life.
Coating the room in greasy goo and blasting your siblings with lightning, giving you and your brother a minor curse. So I'll remind you that currently neither you nor your brother can speak, and instead tiny pink bubbles come out. That is a timed curse, so basically by the beginning of this game that'll be ending. Tromlin fired a guard's musket at his siblings and then escaped, while Elgato swashbuckled his way through the rest of the guards single-handedly. Meanwhile, the fight continued in the main hall. Copernicus fired a witch bolt at Eliphas Darkmoor, which caused him to lose concentration, but the portal remained open, which indicated that it was actually using the magic powers of the Citadel itself, which meant it could theoretically be permanent. So Captain Darius fired his cannons through the portal. Morgan cast Enlarge on Ugna so she could block the portal, and Copernicus went hacker mode and hacked the rune magic and closed the portal.
I'm in.
It was very Matrix. The party members mopped up the remaining barbarians. The pixies vanished, but not before they spent a huge amount of energy to permanently curse Eliphas Darkmoor with a curse chosen by the chat, which is that he is now followed around by illusions that constantly mock him.
Love it.
Good.
Meanwhile, Fetid headed off to fight the invaders at the gates, having been alerted that his traps were starting to go off. And so that's where we're going to begin today, is with Fetid. But meanwhile, a thick fog began to descend, and the party heard the blood-chilling howl of Vildaravin, the strange raven demons that get summoned by the Raven cult. Morgan took Copernicus and cast Dimension Door, and you guys all ran up the walls and got your way up to the peak of the Citadel, where the Countess Nightshade was in battle with no fewer than a half dozen of these Vildaravin, one of which previously fought the party to a standstill. Ugna threw Morgan into the fray and thunderstepped out of the Citadel with the Countess. But Ugna drank the potion that Glorpa had left you and turned into a young red dragon.
Oh, nice.
Which is great.
Filling the chamber with flames, she destroyed most of the Vildaravin. Copernicus summoned his fire demon Edoreza. Between them, the demon and Ugna chased down the stragglers, since they are susceptible to fire damage. Ugna spent a hero point, and we basically narrated the end of the game with most of the party riding the dragon to safety while strafing the barbarians and their war machines with dragon fire. And we ended with the barbarians in the process of fleeing into the hills as the demon and the dragon destroyed the dread Zomboni, the undead war machines. So we start with Fetid. So Fetid, having been distracted by the hypnotic imprint of the fairy magic, had the option to go and hunt down and pursue Boss Haug, his nemesis, but instead, hearing that the barbarians were attacking the city, decided to go and help his Quaggle buddies in their fight against the incursion. Earlier in the day, you had trapped all of these entrances into the sewerways from outside the city, which you knew that these barbarians were going to be likely using. And so when you began to hear some of the rumblings and maybe even explosions associated with the traps that you set, you raced down from the Citadel window where you were standing and made your ways back into the sewers. So the first thing that happens is you can very much hear the sounds of combat in the sewerways. You head rapidly to sort of the major tunnels where you set the main traps. Some of your traps will collapse the tunnels where it was safe to do so, where that wouldn't then lead to like the city wall falling down and like other structural damage. But that means that you basically were able to channel the barbarian incursion into a particular direction. And your Quaggle buddies were effectively ready to fight off that incursion. So as you make your way to that area, you hear the clash of weapons and you come out from squirm your way out of like a mud hole tunnel that you can make use of with your feet of getting your way around the city underways. And you notice immediately the dwarf barbarian Butch Irk is in.
Sorry. I heard Butch, and my brain went to a member of the queer community.
Butch Irk is pretty butch. He is
But
in.
Butch is a himbo.
Yeah.
He is. He is quite a himbo. It's Butch with two T's, of course, and there's some kind of weird dwarf diacritic mark in there, so there's a dot after the T's. As everybody who gets the in joke gets the in joke. And Butch is in fact in combat with no fewer than two of these raging ice barbarians. Butch is also a barbarian. He is raging in return, but you can see many a bloody cut upon his oiled chest. It's like his chest hair is braided because he's a dwarf, so he's oiled like a barbarian, but he's not like shaven. He's just a hair, just oiled a hair.
Ugh.
At first glance, he doesn't look shirtless, and then you're like, "Oh, wait a second! Oh God! Oh no!"
It's just so uncomfortable to have oil in your hair.
Yeah.
Is that braid on the back? Is like a row of braids with little bows? Very butch. And also, you see a number of the other Quaggles, including Trit Resnoir, the Goth Goblin, and his girlfriend Brenda Yuri, and a bunch of other Quaggles are all in like little shooting portals and are firing stone slings at the oncoming barbarians. But you have an opportunity to do something surprising because they do not know you are present.
Okay.
And I'm also happy to say that since you could hear this as you approached, you've already done the prep to ready your dragon's gift on your weapon. You don't have to spend a bonus action to do that, and you basically go first because you're surprising everyone. You get to be top of the initiative order.
Right. Let's see. So who looks to be the most threatening dude in the middle of this melee?
There is something of a leader type
All right.
looking barbarian that is sort of engaged hockey stick to axe
All right.
with Butch.
Okay, I would like to Hunter's Mark him.
Excellent. You may do so with a
And
bonus
I
action.
will take my first arrow shot at him.
Anything special you want to do with this shot?
Let me see. Let me just bring up my character sheet real quick.
Just double checking. I guess you've already done your Gift of the Trash Dragon on it. So that will
Yeah.
last for this, basically for the fight. And you can trick shot it to make it an auto critical if you wish.
Yeah,
You have
that's kind of what I was
advantage.
thinking. I was just trying to look up the info
Yeah.
for that. Is that like disadvantage on the attack roll
Yeah,
or
it
something?
gives you disadvantage on the shot, but it becomes an automatic critical.
Yeah,
You basically do a
let's-
called shot, but you have
let's try
advantage
that.
because of the surprise attack. So
Oh, okay.
that'll just be
Do
a
those
normal
cancel
roll.
out then?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's give it a shot. Oh, that was exactly average. 10, so that's an 18.
That will beat his armor class.
Awesome.
So that'll hit.
All
So this will
right,
effectively be a called shot,
cool.
like a arrow to somewhere particularly vital.
Right in the eyeball.
So go ahead and roll your damage. Please roll me the 1d6 plus 5 first, because
Okay.
that's the only part of this damage that the Barbarian Rage will convey resistance on. The rest is all magic.
All right, so that first roll is 9 damage then.
And then roll the 2d6 for all the magic damage. So 9 halved and doubled for the
And then
crit
another
will be
6 on
9.
top of that.
And then that will actually be doubled to 12. So that is 21 damage
Haha.
that this barbarian takes all at once. And that's only your first attack.
Yeah. Attack number 2. I can't do called shot again, can I?
No, that's a once per
That's what I figured.
per rest. Yeah. Once
Second
per
one
rest
is
trick.
a 1, so that will not hit.
No, but this one doesn't have disadvantage, and it's still surprise. It's still the same
Oh,
round.
okay.
So go ahead and roll again because you have advantage.
Well, then that will definitely hit. That was a 20-something.
Oof.
I thought you were going to tell me you rolled a nat 1 and a nat 20, and I was like,
No, that
that's
would have
about
been
as
pretty
far
funny.
apart as you can do.
Ah.
Okay.
Mirror dice. And that's another 7 damage.
So that's 7 on the 1d6 plus 5.
Yep.
Okay, so that one is halved, so he takes 4. But then you also still get to roll your hunter's mark and your poison.
Right.
So roll another 2d6.
3 and 4. Another 7 damage. Cool.
And that won't be halved. So that is another 11. So you've done 32 points of damage to him in one round.
It's like I'm a rogue or something.
And that's just a surprise attack. You also have the option of having Filth do something if you want, because Filth is here.
I would love to. I would love to have Filth go and sting him, or try to anyway.
So go ahead and make an attack roll for Filth.
That will
Filth is a plus
be
5.
a 10 plus 5 is 15.
And then you once again get advantage on that from the surprise attack.
That would go up to a 16 then.
I do believe that makes it. Yeah, that'll do.
Cool. Nice.
So I believe I have to make a saving throw.
I think that is how we have it written, yes.
And it's on your spell save DC.
Yes.
So go ahead and roll the damage. It's a D4 plus 2.
D4 plus 2.
And where is your spell save DC?
That is 4 damage.
So that
If
becomes 2.
if it-
But spell save DC for Fetid is a 15. So he's got to make a 15 save. Now it's a con save, and he's good at that.
Yeah.
But not that good. I rolled a 3.
Ooh.
I'm double checking his bonus. No, his bonus is not 12.
I don't think
I
my
mean, it's
bonus
close.
is 12.
His bonus is a 9,
Yeah.
but
Oh.
not good enough. Okay, so that puts him at 34, and at what's the effect of that poison? He has the poisoned condition. Yes. Poisoned condition for 1 hour. Failure by 5 or more is unconscious, but his bonus is good enough that that doesn't become that level of a failure. And so, yeah, so poison, that means he has disadvantage on like everything. So he actually, this particular leader guy is wearing like a funky big metal helmet that obviously shaped like a hockey helmet, but it's a barbarian helmet, but it also has like a dark visor that you can't see his eyes through. And he as you shoot him in the back and sting him with your dragon, goes, "Oh, fuck you, Jonesy." There's another deep cut of Canadiana.
Good.
Don't understand it, and I'm scared to understand it.
Good. That's a
Oh,
it's a
fucking
deep rabbit
Shorzy.
hole.
Oh, you're muted,
can-
Peter.
You can respond. Fuck
I
you,
also
Shorzy.
don't know this one.
It's a Letterkenny reference.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
okay.
I'm sure somebody
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody in the audience is already face bombing.
I've binged 5 seasons of it, but then immediately forgot everything that happens in most of the internal memes.
Good.
The last Canadian show I watched was Trailer Park Boys.
Oh yeah.
If you like
Solid.
Trailer
That's a
Park Boys,
classic.
actually you probably like
That's what,
Yeah.
I've never heard
Yeah.
a bad thing about Letterkenny. There's a comedian on it who I like. Trev, I think his name is.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
he's
He does
great
some really great
stand-up.
stand-up. It's phenomenal,
Yeah.
but I just
Good old K-Trev.
Several
He's great.
several people on that show are stand-up comedians, and as a result, they've been doing stand-up like Letterkenny stand-up tours, which I think is kind
well,
of
that's
a
what they did
cool.
with the Trailer Park Boys. They did like a live tour as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, pretty cool. So Peter, the only reason that you don't get the reference then is because I think it's a very late season where they show Shorzy playing hockey, and because the whole joke of Shorzy is that you only see him from behind, they put him in douche tint on his hockey helmet. Anyway, so that is bad news for him because now he has been attacked from behind, and that is going to give advantage to Butch when he strikes him. So Butch is going to chop this guy up. Oh, that reminds me, actually, Jeff,
Yeah.
I would like you to re-roll your first attack, and
Okay.
just in case it's a nat 20. Because I just realized you had advantage on him twice.
Oh, off by 1. That's a 19.
Oh.
Worth a shot. Because when you are attacking recklessly, as these barbarians are doing, you give everyone advantage. So the
Great.
surprise attack was a double advantage. So even with the 1 disadvantage for your trick shot, you still had advantage. That's the one thing, by the way, in D&D 5th Ed where it's worth having more than 1 advantage is that they all cancel out until you end up with one or the other. So when they say you can't have double advantage, they just mean you can't roll again twice.
Right.
But you can counter multiple disadvantages. This is great news for Butch because of his 2 attacks, both with advantage, one of those 4 dice is a nat 20. So Butch is going to, in fact, I'll get you to roll Butch's damage. So roll me a d6 for his first attack, which is not doubled.
4.
So that is a 4 plus 5 is 9 damage. That will be 5 damage. And then his second attack, another d6, please. And this one,
Nice. A 6.
oh, nice. That's the one that has a nat 20 on it. So that becomes 11 damage after having and then doubling, which puts this guy at 50 frickin' damage.
Ooh.
He's not looking great.
Well, he's a barbarian, so that's what, a third of his hit points?
Yeah.
I believe the regular barbarians you guys were fighting had about 50 hit points. I think like 48 or something, but the leader ones had more. Okay, so the other barbarian that Butch is fighting takes a savage hack at him and does not get past his armor class. That's pretty cool. As Butch has the armor class bonus of the unarmored barbarian. And a bunch of quaggles are going to start peppering him with sling stones. And meanwhile, this barbarian, whose name is something like Shorzay or something, who knows, is going to take a swing with his double-handed hockey blade axe thing at Butch, and he will successfully hit and do a significant amount of damage. Butch, of course, takes half, but he's got even more nasty rents on his body, and it is your turn again.
Me
And you
again.
can do something further about this barbarous fellow.
Okay. Let's see. I no longer have surprise on him.
No, but he is in combat with other people, which still gives you advantage
Right. Okay.
as he continues to be in hand-to-hand combat. You notice, by the way, that a couple of your traps in this tunnel have not yet been set off and are nearby.
In that case, would I be able to use my swarm to shove him into one of those traps?
You would indeed, although I point out it is a strength save
Oh yeah, he's gonna be good
that
at
he
that.
gets. So you never know. He may or may
yeah.
not succeed.
Let me see. What kind of action is that? A regular or bonus action?
Just double checking.
remember.
Doop. It is free. You can just do
Free?
it once per turn.
cool.
Yeah, it doesn't
Alright.
cost anything.
Well, I'm gonna maintain my mark and try to put a couple more arrows into him before I give him the old shove.
Another thing that you can theoretically do here, though, is
Mhm.
to try and stack the deck against his saving throw.
Okay. Could try to.
Oh,
I
I
don't know if
forgot.
webbing him would make a difference there.
Not the webbing him wouldn't help, but you could cast a spell that could give him disadvantage on his saving throw if you have some aid. So, for example, if you were to summon a beast and have him get a beast attack at the same time you're shoving him with your swarm, I would definitely give him a disadvantage on the saving throw to resist
All right.
being moved. Right?
Yeah, that
sort of
makes
thing.
sense. I haven't done that yet, so let's do that.
Okay, so you can summon a beast of whatever
Yep.
sort you wish.
Sewer crocodile.
Nice. Nice. So it's just out of the mud, out of nowhere.
Mhm.
Sewer crocodile comes up. It actually says sewer crocodile as it comes
Mhm.
up, like the
Here by you.
land chart.
Yep.
And it will lunge. So you can make an attack for me with that sewer crocodile.
That will almost certainly hit. That's an 18 plus whatever its attack modifier is.
That is very good. Doopy. I'm just looking for its attack bonus, but you hit without it. So what will I give this? I suppose this is going to be a land-based creature, so it'll have the pack tactic, which actually give it an advantage on this roll. So you actually roll again just in case you get a 20.
Nope.
Crocodiles that get the free grapple?
Although I am rolling well.
Played a druid at one point, and I remember the crocodile was really good.
Yeah, this doesn't get like the specific properties of a crocodile.
Right.
It gets
right.
a generic beast
Yeah.
powers.
Crocodiles do get the DC 12 grapple for free, which is lovely. I used to use that one a lot.
Just double checking if there's anything special about its nope. Okay, so its proficiency bonus is equal to yours. Its strength is +4, so that means it's going to have a total of +7 on the attack. So it did quite well on that attack. And the damage is 1d8 +4 plus the level of the spell, which is 2. So 1d8 +6.
All right.
Cool. Oh, actually, no, its melee attacks are with your spell attack modifier. Oh, which is also +7. So same thing, same difference. So roll me that damage.
4 plus 6 then, so 10.
Yep, so 10 damage. Takes half because of his thing. But now you are using swarm as this crocodile lunges into him and startles him backwards. You're going to use your swarm to direct him towards your trap. So I will make his saving throw with disadvantage. And one of his rolls is decent, and he's got a good bonus, but his other roll is a 2, so it doesn't matter. All right, you maneuver him into the trigger that you have set, some kind of little vine down by in the bottom, and he pushes on it, and suddenly a bunch of rocks that you set up rocks fall. That barbarian dies.
Yay.
That was for you, Randy.
Where's my royalty check?
I will pay you a percentage of the money I didn't make for doing.
Ah,
You now owe Lane $500.
shit.
Oh, I got negative. Yeah, so like some rocks fall and squash that barbarian. The other barbarian is getting slaughtered by Butch and the concentrated fire now of all of the quaggles. He looks in pretty rough shape. The barbarians further behind suddenly start like shouting, like something is happening back up the tunnel. And you can see them hesitating. They're trying to rage and continue fighting, but others behind them are like leaving. Like something else is going on, and you're kind of like, well, that's potentially good for me.
Indeed.
But that'll bring it back to you, and you can
Time for more arrows.
Oh yeah.
yeah, you can like concentrate some fire here now.
Arrow 1 will hit. That is a 22.
22 is definitely a good hit. Don't forget to be rolling with advantage here.
Yes. Let's see if I can do any better. Nope. All right. So d6 plus 5. That's 9 for the first one.
Yeah, becomes 5, and then 2d6, no modifiers.
And 8.
Okay, 13 damage, and then the second arrow.
Is a crit.
Woohoo!
Oh, Jesus.
Nice.
Yeah, I am
Roll
in
your
murder mode
1d6
apparently.
Good.
5.
Murder them all, my friend.
All right. So first roll is 7.
Okay, so that stays because it's halved and then doubled. And then the 2d6 gets doubled.
5, 1. So that's another 6 times 2
Doubled
is
is
12.
12.
That'll do.
32 damage in a single action, and
That'll
you
do.
still could you still have the option of you can, because this is the next turn, you can add a d6 to your attack damage from your gathered swarm,
Yeah, why not?
because you can basically once per turn for free you can either add that
Right.
d6 damage or try to move somebody,
Well, there's another 6 damage then.
and that is magic, so it's just straight up doubled as well, so that's another 12. That is 44 damage you just did in that one round.
Good God.
And you didn't even have Filth do anything. You have Filth to act.
You love to see it. Yeah, let's have Filth do the same thing.
And I will point out that because you don't have to keep using your bonus action for the stuff you've done, you can use your bonus action to give Filth an extra attack.
Yeah, let's do that.
So go ahead and make 2 attack rolls, both with advantage.
Okay.
And we'll
First
see if
attack
any of
roll
them
will-
are crits.
First attack roll will hit. What am I rolling for him again? A D8? D4?
Yep, D4 plus 2 damage.
4 plus 2. That is 3 damage.
And target makes a con save. He's good on that one.
And the second one will also hit. And another 3 damage.
And he gets another con save, but it doesn't really matter because he's out of hit points. So between you and your swarm of bugs and your filthy little pocket dragon, you just end that barbarian.
I did.
That was like a
murder.
fresh barbarian. You just took out, in one round. Excellent. And since Butch just finished off that other barbarian last round, the hail of stones from your various Quaggle buddies are now hitting the next barbarian in line. And that barbarian, you notice, is also relatively near to one of your traps. And you have the option still of having your crocodile do something because he hasn't done anything this round yet.
Yeah, I want the crocodile go bite that guy.
All right. Make an attack roll.
I like that the other Quaggles are
Uh,
fighting with like stones and slings, and you're just murderizing everything.
Yep.
That's why you're the folk hero.
That is
he's
a
the folk
10
hero.
plus whatever his attack modifier is.
Which is +7, so that will hit.
17.
Again, though, make sure you're rolling that advantage in
Oh,
case he
yeah.
doesn't hit right.
Oh, no, that's a miss. This guy's the D8, right?
Yes, D8
Yeah.
+6.
That is 11 damage.
Okay, 6. And that barbarian is now finally injured. And for he'll take a swing at the crocodile. He'll use his 2 actions to attack the crocodile. Or sorry, no, these guys don't have 2 actions. They only have 1. He'll actually hit the crocodile pretty good because one of his reckless rolls is a nat 20. But I don't think that's going to be enough to take it out. Hit points 30 hit points. Yeah, it has 30 hit points. He will not do that much. But I will roll. Oh wow, he really didn't do that much. I rolled a 1. +5 is 6 damage. He's doing something. Oh, I doubled, so 12. So I actually did a decent amount of damage to the crocodile, but it's still kicking. And it's back to you. And this barbarian is further up the path, so you can once again, if you want to attempt to get him into one of your traps that preset here,
Yes.
you notice like one of your like loop traps that would like grab him up and hang him upside down.
Mm-hmm. I would like to do that, or at least attempt to. I'm going to shift my hunter's mark to this guy.
And then take a shot at him to
Yep.
get your swarm in on the action.
That is a 15.
Okay. And go ahead and roll your damage.
All right, 5
So
is 5. So 10 for the first.
Okay, that becomes 5. And then 2d6 that does not get halved.
Another 5.
Another 5. And then instead of adding extra damage from your swarm, you can shove him. And
That
I
is
will
what I
roll
would
a
like to
saving
do.
throw. Disadvantage because he's fighting the crocodile.
That's a good sentence.
Exactly the same pair of dice I had last time. So a 12 plus a bonus, which is great, and a 2 plus his bonus, which is insufficient. So disadvantage burns him again. And he gets caught up with this rope and zip, his legs go out from under him, and he is now hanging upside down in the passageway. You have an opportunity here to keep him if you want. If you want to like leave him tangled up for a while you attack other barbarians, you could do
Yeah,
that.
I think that's probably the right thing to do. So I will shift my
got an
attentions
extra
to
shot?
whoever is nearest.
Yep, and you can shoot the next barbarian in the row.
That will probably miss. That is a 14.
You still have advantage.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
picturing one of those tower defense games, and it's just one of the towers is just a kobold.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody has modded Baldur's Gate 3 to have playable kobolds, and I'm very tempted.
What? Oh.
Yes.
Hell
Mhm.
yes.
Good.
I will admit, in second edition, when they released like the book on how to play monsters, I was so excited to play kobolds.
Mhm.
No, you can't sit on my mic right now. My mic is one of Meg's favorite purchase,
Uh-huh.
and I usually have a cover on it so she doesn't get feathers in it, but she is trying to sit on the mic right now. I'm using it.
Both of my that one will miss. I did not roll high.
Yes, I'm bugging you. I bugged you. Here.
And so your buddies here are gonna continue to swarm forward. The quaggles, or a bunch of the quaggles, start swarming the captured. the captured
Hey, bud.
upside down barbarian, and start like just throwing ropes around. It's like Lilliputians all up in here, as all these quaggles start swarming around this one gigantic barbarian, throwing ropes and looping him. Oh my goodness, that's quite the bird butt that we just got shown. We're gonna get demonetized or something.
Bird only fans.
Old cloaca.
Only feathers.
Only feathers, excellent, very good. And you're attacking that next guy. Now you start to see. I guess I'll just roll for the crocodile here. We can do some more damage. And you start to see that beyond this area of traps, a couple of the barbarians now kind of stumbling around, like set off a couple other little minor traps and get themselves variously injured. But then you see outside, further up the tunnel, where you can see the moonlight shining in. There's like screams and pandemonium. And the last of the barbarians that are further up the tunnel just start to they break ranks and they flee. Those who are already too much in their rage to think about things are now basically getting swarmed by you and your swarm of bugs and your crocodile or sewer gator, and Butch, who continues raging. And they've got that well handled. You head out of this tunnel, and you see that the huge Zomboni machines, these undead war machines that had come up to the gates, are both blazing in fire.
Nice.
And you notice that the fire on one of them has like these big creepy eyes in it, and there's like kind of a laughter emanating from it as it burns. And you've seen that before.
Yep.
I know who that is.
But you also see this red dragon with a shock of pink hair swooping down back and forth across the fleeing barbarian horde, spewing fire, as Alina has yet to fail.
Hell yeah!
As Alina has yet to fail the roll to reuse the breath
Man.
weapon.
That was ridiculous. I rolled like 3 6s in a row. It was so great.
Love it.
And of course, on the back of this red dragon with pink hair is the shape of some of your friends, Tromlin and Copernicus, and the black cat El Gato is with this group.
Love to see it
as well. And Morgan is there also.
Did we caught Morgan and Nightshade, right?
Oh, sorry. Yes, Morgan's
Because
not
they
on
were
your back.
falling?
Morgan and Nightshade went down to the ground.
Right, yeah.
Morgan took
Like
Nightshade's
Featherfall or
uh,
something.
injured self and did a dimension door basically down to the ground.
But there was an unconscious Nightshade, which is not good.
Indeed. But that's not something that Fetid is currently seeing.
Mhm.
And Ugna, as you guys are sort of clearing out the with flame the hordes around the gates. Also, by the way, there's now, as this is happening, the gates crash open, and the city guard and soldiery are now sort of like formed up and are now marching out of the gates to attack the fleeing barbarians, as is the appropriate thing to do when the siege seems to have been broken. And you can even see amongst the soldiery, the sheriff of Mudhollow is leading a bunch of soldiers and going, "Criminelli, get them barbarians!"
That'd be the only time I don't want to murder this guy.
Ugna, you see Fetid emerge from a tunnel at the base of the city wall, along with the glistening form of Butch, the dwarf barbarian, and a couple of couple of other quaggles come out as well, sort of like looking to defend the tunnel entrance.
Awesome.
Set
If
up
there is
a line of
nothing
defense.
left to burn, then I will head over their way and like back wing in front of them and land. Be like, hey, buddy!
Yeah, as happens, the quaggles, every individual here that isn't feted or butch just vanishes with like a squeak.
Hey, buddy, hop on! Wanna burn some bad guys?
Oh, hell
This is
yeah.
great! Like, put out a claw for you to climb up.
Hell yeah. I immediately scramble onto this big lizard.
And then
Excellent.
I'm gonna try to get back into the air and go after the fleeing barbarians, but I know that the spell only lasts. Ugna has no
Yep.
idea. She thinks she's a dragon now forever, and it's great. But
Can Copernicus do an Arcana to figure out when we should safely land?
About how long? Make a roll. It's not an easy one because this is not a potion you've used before, but it is based on a spell effect, so you can
Yeah.
sort of at least guess.
All right, and let me just see if I have any inspiration should this go awry. Well, for now, let's get the roll going. So this is Arcana, correct?
Yep.
Nat 20 plus 10 is 30.
Okay.
You've seen
So
this
this-
before.
I would like, if it's possible, I would like to organize it such that Ugna goes in for a landing as the dragon and knows exactly when to like pull up, so that she gets to do a cool combat roll landing on her feet as a half orc,
Nice.
Nice.
and look as cool as possible. I would like to enable
Yeah,
a
she
superhero
does like the
landing.
Iron Man pose when she hits the
Oh
ground.
yeah. We all do
Okay.
cool poses because you're on my back. I like go into
Yeah.
a forward roll, you all jump, and then you land behind
Well, I
me.
try and I land
Yeah.
on my head, but
That's good.
you know.
So this is an interesting situation. You roll a natural 20, so you actually like you like see behind the curtain. So I'll like explain. This is a third edition spell. I based this potion on. This is Greater Polymorph, which does not exist in 5th edition.
Ooh.
5th edition has True Polymorph, which is a 9th level spell, which is much more ridiculous. So this, based on the previous edition and Pathfinder rules, probably lasts around a minute per level, caster level. Potions usually cast at a level sort of minimal, even if the maker of the potion could cast that particular spell at a higher level. So you would guess that this is only going to last for like 5-ish minutes of real time. Now, the combat upstairs was like round by round. That's not even been a minute. But since you've flown down and started setting fire to everything and chasing barbarians, the minutes are starting to tick. So you imagine you only probably got a couple of minutes left here.
So I'd like to keep count because my only priority now, I actually don't care about how efficiently we use our time. I leave that up to everyone else. What I would like to optimize for is the coolest landing possible, knowing exactly when we're all going to change and have to jump off the wings, and to
Good.
do that in a really visibly cool place, so that the entire city sees it and sees that like we were among
Nice.
defenders.
So Ugna spent a hero point, so I am 100%
yeah.
going to let
Yeah,
this
yeah.
go. You notice a rise nearby, and you figure that if you kind of like Ugna is like easily directed. You imagine
Yeah,
that if you start
like
like
a
treating
horse.
like using your knees to
Yeah.
nudge like it was a horse, Ugna will probably just do what you're trying to do. And in fact, that works. So you take off, do another big round turn and like spray across the fleeing barbarians with fire.
Yeah.
And then turn and come back the other way. They start routing. They basically scattering into the hills.
I'm also all
on the
fucked up on being a dragon. Like I'm just like pure
Oh, yeah.
adrenaline at this point. It's like I've chugged 5 espressos and then fought a bunch of dudes, and I'm just hype. There's not a lot of thought in Ugna's head, so very much direct her like a horse.
And you've left Etereza with basically the instructions of just completely destroy those war machines. Burn those to the ground so they are not capable of doing any further damage or being repaired. So you don't have to worry about, you're just concentrating on that spell. You don't have to worry about giving further instructions. And again, with the hero point, I'm not going to worry about when it wears off. It'll wear off at such a point that he can't really get to you and he'll just fly and then disappear. And on your first pass through the barbarians, El Gato, using his whip, swings down from your left foreleg and executes like a vine swing type of deal, and lands amongst a group of fleeing barbarians and starts to swashbuckle his way. Can't do a lot of buckling of swash from the back of a dragon. You kind of
True.
need to get down there and mix it up. So he's kind of with the vanguard of the city soldiery, taking out individual targets. And then the rest of you, as you fly across, of course, Copernicus, you're busy concentrating on stuff, but Tromlin and Fetid can absolutely do some ranged attacking spells and cantrips and arrows, and variously sort of pick
Wonderful.
yeah,
Nice.
pick out individual targets that look particularly juicy to pick off from the back of the dragon. And as you do your third sweep, and again with the hero point, you just never fail to renew the fire. You just
Excellent.
keep
Good.
sweep and breathe, sweep and breathe, sweep and breathe. There's cooked barbarians everywhere. Peter, you direct a low swoop, sort of like an upward swoop to the little rise at the edge of the ridge near the city, and you time it so that just at the top of the swoop, coming up to the ridge, poof, Ugna ceases to be a dragon, and you're all sort of like able to land in variously
Really
cool ways.
And I have us all backlit by the swath of fire that Ugna lit
Excellent.
beforehand, so we're all like wreathed in flame.
So you've set everybody up, but everybody's going to need to make me an acrobatics or athletics check to see
Good.
how well you pose your landings.
Oh, I'm going to use acrobatics.
Could I-
That's my better one.
Could I instead just do a performance, considering I
You're-
just float?
you're not
down to
there.
the land? Oh wait,
Oh,
sorry.
yeah.
Because you teleported out of to safety with Nightshade.
Yeah, that's right.
So you're back on like one of the city guard towers on the city wall, which was like the nearest roof. You're there with unconscious Nightshade, watching this proceed.
Can I do a performance check anyways?
Sure. You know what?
We
You've
just wanna
got enough
roll.
spells. You've got enough spell slots left that you can throw a like a spell effect. Like a peal of thunder type spell at the right moment.
Can I steal Raven's idea and roll performance instead of acrobatics?
Sure. Well, you don't need to roll. I just realized you can fly. You've got the
Oh, yeah.
boots. So you don't need to you can land however you want because it's not acrobatics. It's just, so yeah, go ahead and roll performance for just what kind of
Okay.
cool atmospherics you throw on it.
I rolled
Not
a
so
dirty
great.
20 on mine.
Woo.
Nice.
I rolled low,
Nice.
so I only got a 16.
That's an 11 here.
I rolled extremely low, so I only have a 12.
19.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay.
I'd also like to. We're all still in our party clothes, so
Yes.
Yep.
I'm in a codpiece and his
I
like
forgot
weird
about
garden
that.
gnome fetish gear. I don't know what happens to your clothes when you polymorph Ugna, but you were in something that you had already ripped a lot off of.
Yep. I was basically just in a wrestling singlet with a skirt.
Yep. Yeah,
It's like
Ugna
the
will
Hulk, they're
land.
stretchy.
Ugna lands with like a Wonder Woman pose.
Oh, and my thigh-high boots, because I still have my magic boots on.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, you had the extra leather pieces put on your magic boots just to make them into fetish wear.
Yep.
I just assumed that when she turned into a dragon, she still had an semblance of her outfit so that she could cover up her colloquia,
Yeah, it's just dragon size now.
It's okay. It's just all internal. It's fine.
It was a dragon with pink hair and a cocktail dress.
Pretty
So
sure there's a
Tromlin-
Baldur's Gate mod for that as well.
I'm pretty sure that's half of fur affinity.
Mm-hmm.
So Tromlin
Imagine,
pulls
this
off
dragon
like a
swooping
flip.
down the song "Lady in Red" playing.
Lady is Red Dragon. I
Yeah.
don't know. We'll workshop it. So yeah, Tromlin does a somersault and lands. Ugna does a power superhero landing
Yeah.
in the little flimsy nothing. Copernicus like floats to the ground, like crackling with energy. And Fetid like tucks in a ball and does like a more practical roll. Like he just, the whole sort of like thing that some lizards do where they practically armadillo up and just like, and just rolls.
There's a sting of music, and it's just the Trash Heroes theme song.
Yep.
But like fuzz guitar,
Yeah.
hair metal.
Yep. Just that
Fire.
final bit from the end. Excellent. And you're all on full display from the city. And there's like a flash of lightning and thunder from Morgan's spell that like backlights you all so that you're all like highly picked out as you do this and land. And that's like go to commercial break kind of moment in the show. Yeah, Ugna.
When we come back,
Up
I'm
to you.
still all hyped on having been a dragon, and I'm like leaping around, being like, yeah, hell yeah, that was awesome, ah! And like yelling after the barbarians and be like, come back and get some.
You were a goddamn dragon. How
That
about
was awesome.
That was
Like
so
pick you up and
cool.
shake you gently a little bit, and put you back down. Still leaping around.
And none of us died. Amazing. Would you look at that? I mean, everyone's okay. Everyone's. Fernie's gonna do a visual scan for anyone like obviously hurt or.
Ugna's still pretty damaged.
I
Not
can
like,
do some-
I think Tromlin has a little bit of damage from his altercation with his
Yeah.
siblings, but not a ton. Tromlin already cast one big healing spell on Ugna, but obviously Ugna took a lot of damage.
mean,
Sorry, Ugna's
No, it was a
completely
dragon.
undamaged.
I was a dragon.
Because that's
when I
one
took
of the
damage.
results of a polymorph.
Mhm.
As Ugna returns to normal form, Ugna is now completely without damage, totally healthy.
I was down from 178 hit points to 30, which wasn't great.
As a dragon.
As a
Yeah,
dragon.
because Vilderevin are
But I'm
nasty.
okay now. All I have is the bit of damage I took in the barbarian fights.
No, that's gone
that's
now.
all gone.
As
Alright.
you return
Oh,
from
hell yeah.
polymorph form, you go
Right.
back to your full hit points.
Hell yes.
Fetid has some nickels and dimes. He took a few hits here and there. And Tromlin's got a little bit of damage. And you yourself, of course, Copernicus, have a fair bit. And Morgan isn't immediately evident, although I think Morgan managed to avoid most of the damage. So yeah, that's your current sitch. You can see the barbarians by now have completely fled and scattered. They are being pursued, but not recklessly. So the city guard are like pursuing them. You can see a couple of the city guard higher ranking soldiers, as well as the sheriff from Mud Hollow, all commanding individual groups they're all competent enough commanders that they're like keeping their men together and not letting them just charge off. And even Butch has come out of rage by now and is like, kind of standing and huffing, holding his two axes, and he goes and he shouts out something along the lines of, "Don't you forget it. I'll teach you guys."
Ugna's still running around and like whooping and throwing things after the barbarians. It'll take her a minute or two to calm down after that that rush.
I'm gonna pull the beads out and approach Fetid to do a healing.
Cool.
Sure.
Thank you.
Let's see. It's a first level healing, though, right? First level cure. Hello.
Sorry.
It's first level on the bead.
Yeah, it counts as his first level.
1d8 plus my spellcaster.
Use my pencil.
And you can also use the lesser restoration on yourself first, just to get your voice back.
Okay, I'll do that then. I'll remove that curse.
Although you don't need your voice to cast with these beads because they don't have normal spell casting prerequisites. You just sort of like touch
I'll
them to
remove my
people.
curse, and then my spellcaster is a +6, right?
I don't think so. It's based off the stat, right? So it's wisdom, so +4.
Okay. Either way, I got a max, so it's 12 points back to Fetid.
Nice.
Nice.
Who else is hurt?
You and Copernicus. Copernicus is probably the worst hurt because I know you took a bunch of random damage, Copernicus, partly
I
from
think
your
I
own
might
magic.
have some damage.
You took a
and
little bit,
poison?
but you're also
Yeah.
not nearby.
Yeah.
I don't have any
You're not-
third level spells, but I think I have a second level spell left.
Let me just double check. I have some notes from the
I
fight
want to save something
scene.
for Nightshade too, because she looked like she was really rough.
You have 1 second level spell slot left, so you could do like a prayer of healing on the whole group, or you could do a second level heal spell.
I'll use another bead on Copernicus.
Thank you.
Okay.
Either
Yeah.
I don't know if my notes document saved when I exited last time, because it currently says I'm down 10 HP, which does not sound like enough. Because I think I took
No, you were a bit
big
more
hit.
than
Yeah.
that.
And then on my
but,
paper character sheet, I just have the number 4 written down. I don't know if it's 4 damage
Well,
or 4 HP left.
Just your
You just
favorite
got
number
10
that day.
more. So 10 more.
Maybe you're at 13.
Yep.
Maybe you're at more than that.
All right, we'll say I'm at 14.
You
Then I'll
guys are going to
save
be
my second
entering
level
into a
spell.
rest period soon, anyway. So
Yeah, I am
It-
out. I am out of a lot of things.
I
Yep.
will save my second. Let's go back to Nightshade and see if I need to use healing on her.
Yeah, where'd she end up? I kind of lost track of her
I'll
with the
use
whole,
the-
being a dragon and stuff.
I'll text Morgan where we should meet up.
yeah, Morgan, your sending stone goes off, and you're like,
You up?
New stone who did.
HP wise.
Hey, girl.
You see like a little ... and then deleted, and then yes, I'm here. Your babe is pretty damaged. We're just trying to, contain ourselves. And then the little boobs emoji.
OMW, which for Copernicus is oh my word. But yeah, I think we will make
I
our
will-
way back to meet up.
I will always remember when Ryan North's wife revealed that she always thought that the acronym SMH did not stand for shaking my head, but for suck my hole.
That's
Much
so
better
much
that
better.
way.
So much better.
I always thought, like, for a long time, I thought it meant so much hate.
Also fair.
nice.
That's just
Apparently,
such a
there's
great.
a big generational divide for IMHO. Older
Oh,
people
yeah.
think it's in my humble opinion, and younger people think it's in my honest opinion.
I always thought it was honest too, to be
I
honest.
thought it was
Well,
honest.
the general phrase, the colloquial phrase that is used is in my humble opinion. So it's,
Mm-hmm.
but
For me, it's honest because I'm honest and not humble.
Good.
but it's also there's an interesting meeting of generations with that kind of stuff because people online use the stuff, but you may or may not have context to where it comes from. So there's a lot of like modern takes on old turns of phrase that
There's also a
kinda come
whole
out of nowhere.
generational thing with emojis. So like, I found out that a bunch of the emojis I commonly use are actually like used sarcastically.
Yeah, they're super cringe.
Yeah, it's like,
For
oh, don't use
the
those.
Zoomers.
Ew. Yeah.
Apparently, there's this thing that someone I know is doing research on called the millennial pause, which is everybody our age and older has like a half-second pause when they're taking a video of themselves because we're
Yep.
waiting for the camera to turn on, and younger kids don't do that because they've never had to wait. So it's like an instant giveaway on TikTok whether
Oh,
somebody's a
millennial.
millennial or not.
Yeah.
interesting. And like, some people are just really enjoy eggplant, right? And you're just talking about, what I really like to eat. And then people are like really weirded out by it.
For me,
And
it's
you don't understand.
religious.
You're just like, I like Middle Eastern food. What's the point? So I'm about to launch the poll, I think, because now is probably a good time. So I'm just
Oh,
going to
the
remind
chat.
the players to step away from the chat so they do not get spoiled. And I will remind the audience that you can vote multiple times in the poll and try and make your favorite occur. You can use channel points to do that. But you get a vote for free, and the poll will run for 10 minutes. So here we go. The poll should be live now.
I
If
agree to
anybody
leave-
had, What's
I
that?
agree to leave the stream so that I'm not spoiled with information, so long as I'm spoiled by affection and money.
Well, I can do one of those. All right, so if you can't see the poll, members of the chat, it may need that you need to refresh the chat, but otherwise you should be good to go. Please do throw me some votes. This is going to be some fun.
Morgan is here.
Excellent. Hooray! Morgan
I
can be
had-
seen.
I had someone Venmo me their souls, so I figured
Yeah,
I would
Nice.
show.
Nice.
yeah.
Nice.
I like that you can send
Oh,
that via
oh.
Venmo.
Yeah, I
Oh.
figured we have a lot of
It's
Americans
time.
around,
It's true.
and they don't get to have e-transfers like we do, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder how long it'll take. It has changed now that everything is chipped now in the States. It took a long time for the chips to get there, and now when we do the cons, it's like so many chip-based
Yeah.
sales.
Everyone just
Uh,
taps the card and it's done. It's nice.
So I presume that things like internet banking transfers will eventually happen.
But how long till they
Also-
get ketchup chips?
Yeah.
Or all dressed for that matter.
Oh yeah.
The superior chip.
Oh, come on. All dressed is just the leftover of chip flavors.
All
Like,
dressed
ketchup
is
at
the
least
best.
is intentional.
Oh, we've
Wait a
begun the
minute,
debate.
there is a Letterkenny episode where they do a debate that's just like a formal debate about what is the best Canadian chip flavor. And I was like, I can tell that Tanis wasn't there. Because if anyone native had been in that room, they were like, listen, y'all ain't talking about cheesies, and that's a problem.
Yep, Hawkins cheesies need to be part of this
Mhm.
conversation. What
How
about
can
hickory
you
sticks?
drive from the city to your reserve if you do not have cheesies?
Hickory sticks, y'all.
Hell yeah.
Like,
It's
It's been
I
a minute
feel
since I've
like
had hickory
they
sticks.
are,
They're so
like,
good.
90%
considered
salt.
the struggle chip, but they're really good.
Good,
like,
though.
Really good.
like
Well, the fun
they're-
thing about them is they're
like-
Hostess, but they only exist in Canada.
Yes.
Like literally, they are only made by a couple of factories in Canada. But they were a Hostess, like a thing that all Hostess everywhere made.
Huh.
Now, I
and
don't
then
want to
just
get in trouble with
went away.
the CIA,
That's a good way to start a sentence.
but
About Hawkins
considering-
cheesies.
yeah, like considering like the things that are only available in America and Canada, drugs and whatever, like who cares? But Kleenex, we're gonna lose Kleenex.
I know.
Like, are we gonna like break out the old moonshine trails between Canada and the States?
To get some
Just
Kleenex.
bringing in some tissues, you know?
No, we'll just have our
So-
off-brand Canadian tissues.
Clean Ace.
Yep.
So happy
Yeah,
that
with maple scent.
It'll be
vanilla
Cleano.
Coke.
It'll be like
Yeah.
EAUX at the end. It'll be
I'm glad vanilla Coke is
You know.
being more available in Canada. But also,
Cherry Coke too.
like, was it black market vanilla Coke before?
You get that fancy
mean-
Mexican Coke. It's good.
especially out here on the coast because it's so easy to go down to the States. So like, I don't know if you not living out here on the West Coast right now, people know about the Coke strike.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I
What?
think that's just
Coke
been
strike.
BC, but
That's just a
the
BC
Coke,
thing.
yeah, the Coke producing plants went on strike, and there has been like a
No
run on
Coke
grocery
products.
stores and like grocery stores with nothing but Pepsi products and like the couple of Coke products that it has been permitted to make,
Yeah.
which because this is Canada has been
And-
Coke and A&W root beer.
And
Ooh.
Coke was caught smuggling scabs into their factory down in Richmond.
Yep.
They
Of course
had
they
them
were, of
in a
course.
truck like they were produce. They just
Oh
smuggled
my
them
god.
They were
Yep.
literally smuggling them in.
in.
And what's
Yes.
happened is a bunch of the little local corner stores run down to the States and
Yes.
buy like American Coke products, especially like the specialty ones like Cherry Coke and Vanilla Coke. And then they've been bringing them back up and selling them at like a premium
Is-
because there's demand.
That's the worst Coke.
Is
Yeah, it is.
smuggling a scab not human trafficking?
I mean,
No, it pretty much is.
Yeah.
I mean,
When you're
Yeah.
smuggling a person, that's either
got-
kidnapping or human trafficking.
You
isn't
got a
it?
truck full of
Yeah.
humans that you're taking
We
to
have-
a location, and they can't leave unless you take them in your truck.
there's a particular issue. There's a big, long-standing issue with workers' rights in
Yes.
Canada, particularly in Western Canada, that people don't talk about a lot. But as a lot of farm businesses and other production businesses in Canada have become more and more owned by immigrants from India and other South Asian countries, what those people are higher caste, and what they do is they sponsor bringing over lower caste people from those countries because they know that they can basically deny certain of the workers' protections that we have in Canada to them, and they won't say anything. And that's actually a big issue in the labor industry in Canada, is, you know, like people trying to get workers to sort of stand up for their own rights, because they're like, I know that back in India you would have not had the right to say anything about this, but you're in Canada now. And that's been like an ongoing thing.
I mean,
Anyway,
even if you're a permanent resident or native, but not indigenous native to Canada, making any kind of human rights complaint about your employers already dangerous.
Problem. It's a real
but
problem.
yeah, and
You
that's
know?
that's
And then
the
if your
point.
visa's held in the balance, that's a real problem.
Yeah, so we
Mhm.
have like labor advocates and stuff who work in that area, and then they have these extra problems when they're dealing with certain immigrant workers. So anyway, things are complicated.
Trash Heroes, the labor rights edition.
Yeah, we're pro-union from Trash Heroes.
Yes.
All right,
Mhm.
Absolutely. Fuck
union
yeah.
local number 654, whatever, 42069. All right. So yeah, you guys can fairly quickly make your way back from this bluff to the tower that Copernicus has been alerted to being the place to find Morgan and Nightshade. Between Copernicus's flight and Ugna's magic boots, you can pretty quickly make your way up to that tower. Butch and the other Quaggles are going to head for the tunnel, but as they do so, Butch will say to Fetid, "Hey, so what do you want us to do with that guy? That I'm assuming he's still alive. They were throwing ropes on him.
Eh,
So, do you want them to kill him off, or let him go to scare the others?
I'm
You want
gonna
him
look over at the
keep
rest of
him?
the party. Like, what's the morally acceptable thing to do?
Explain your human morals to me."
Yeah.
Group of
I
most
think
non-humans.
me explaining morality would be a bad idea. Tromlin, can you do it?
What was it?
We
Who,
need
who am I doing what to? Who am I killing?
we need to decide if we're killing a prisoner.
I guess
Which
someone should
one we got
probably
here?
interrogate him before we put his head up on the wall.
I mean, I can
Yeah.
interrogate him after we put his head up on the wall. So
That's true. I hadn't
That's
thought
true.
about that. But that's a good
Let me
point.
see the prisoner. Where's the prisoner at?
Yeah, which prisoner specifically?
so was this um was this who is this? Is this someone from the other group of Quaggles who were basically like radicalized?
So
against
Fetid
the
will have
city?
to point out to you guys that there
Yeah,
was
no,
a bunch of barbarians
Yeah, we
In the
swarming
caught a
into
hockey
tunnels.
barbarian who might still be alive.
Oh. Should we give him to Nightshade? I mean, once she wakes up?
That might be a good idea.
I just don't know how long
City.
it'll take, and if she's in any place to do it. Did I get a
I
chance to heal
also-
Nightshade yet? By the way.
No, you guys, this is while you guys are in transit up there, because Butch
Yeah.
is going to go. All right, I'm going to go back down to the tunnels
And go
and
get
check
him
on the
or kill
Quaggles.
him or whatever.
And Nightshade is still cursed and probably not fully herself and not necessarily acting in the best interest of the city still, correct? Like that has not
Maybe?
changed.
You're not sure. You'll have to check her out. So for now, Butch will basically say, "Well, I'll go. I gotta go check on the guys and make sure that we everything's fine down there. But I guess I'll see you later. You can let me know what to do with that guy."
Yeah, try not to kill him. If he struggles too much, feel free to kill him.
Sounds good to me.
Conversations I'm glad I'm not in.
Mhm.
And he heads down there. He goes, right, the barbarian we didn't kill, the barbarian that we're keeping for questioning later. Right. And of course, with your various powers of flight and leaping and wall walking, you rapidly make your way up the tower to find Morgan and a completely unconscious, lying on the ground, Nightshade.
Morgan, even though we were apart when it happened, I cannot help but feel that when we all landed, you also did something equally cool, if not cooler, at the same time. Am I right? Did I hallucinate that?
No, I definitely emphasized your coolness while also doing things here.
Right on.
Cool, 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 cool. Oh, I'm
Oh.
tired, y'all.
Nightshade.
Okay.
That was a long day.
The poll is over, by the way, if anybody
Oh,
wants to
we go back to
return to the chat.
Is the chat
Thank you very
safe?
much, audience, for my
Chat
poll
safe.
results.
Boom.
Cromlin, do you have any healing left that you could do to help help the Countess?
Yes, I can do once. I'll do a spell right now. Hold on, let me do. Let's see. Oh, that's
So
a good one.
you're down to first level spells.
I haven't
but
used my
you
second
still
level spell
have
yet.
a few. Oh,
Oh,
I thought you
nice.
used that. Oh, you used a bead. That's right. You kept the
Mhm.
second level.
And yeah, so I saved this one for her.
Yeah. So this is your last second level spell slot.
That's fine. 18 points of damage.
Hey.
Nice.
You're so good.
And yeah, she's still lying there unconscious, but some of her wounds, her more visible wounds, are healed.
Been making sure she's comfortable and also brushing her hair.
Aw. She's
Not
gonna wake up with
will-
great hair.
Her hair
We'll
just
go-
like naturally like when you came down, when you teleported down here, because you teleported yourselves down here, so she just like appeared on the ground. But lying here, her hair was like all like arrayed out, like someone had like brushed it
Artfully.
onto a
She's
pillow.
got
Like she basically,
Disney princess hair.
yeah, she looks like some kind of fairy princess that's in a Snow White kind of or Sleeping Beauty kind of story.
A fellow queen for sure.
Yeah.
She also does not particularly look like she's breathing, and she's always pale. So you're kind of like,
Well,
Might
you
be
like
fine.
feel for a pulse, and you're like, I feel something. I don't know what it.
What's happening?
Yeah.
Can I?
And I mean,
medicine
you're
or
familiar
arcana?
enough with the. Yeah, you can go, and in fact, you wanted to investigate like her state of magic anyway.
thank you.
So between your various types of magical awareness and perceptions and your arcana, you can go ahead and make a roll and see what you can suss out.
Can I get an assist from anybody?
Guidance for me for sure.
Yeah, Morgan is there being all like familiar with fairy queens
Sweet.
for reasons she still has not elaborated on.
No.
You know what? It's
So-
not our business.
No, not gonna
It's
ask
not
about
our
it.
business.
No. She'll tell us when she wants to. She doesn't
Mhm.
need to.
I will check on my daughter. Actually, since there's bodies everywhere, I'll let my daughter go have a meal.
Oh yeah, you
I thought it was
find.
like, oh, I'll get my daughter away from all these corpses
No.
or away
No,
from.
no,
let her
just-
go eat them.
Actually, is there a Viking near, like a barbarian's body nearby?
Well, in fact, you so when you guys were upstairs and you like all like fled on the back of the dragon, she was just kind of like huddled up with you, and then you all like landed on the thing and so forth, came up here. You just like sort of turn around and look to check on where she is, and she's like trying to kind of like claw her way inside when like she's kind of like it's cold out here, basically is the point. So she's sort of like she's trying to like Planet of Hoth one of these barbarians.
She's taunting one of the barbarians.
She knows all the good tasty bits are inside anyway, so she's just gonna burrow her way inside.
She's doing a crane cosplay.
Aww.
Yeah.
How cute.
If she was older, this would be how she would lay her eggs. She would, but
Mhm.
She's just practicing.
Gonna be
Like
awkward
cleaning
having
house.
that talk with her later, but you know.
Yeah.
She's got her grandmother's taste for the liver and the soft meats. Oh, I love to see it.
you wipe away a little blood tear.
Yeah, wipe it away.
They grow up so fast. They shed exoskeletons so fast.
All right. Well, I will
Um,
scoop my kid up and keep her huddled next to me, like in my cloak, so she stays warm next to me.
Is she like
Sounds
gonna
good.
have the little hats of the previous exoskeletons?
Oh
That
no!
that one
Is that
species
gonna
of
be like
caterpillar. Yeah.
Yes.
yeah? Or I was just picturing like in her home, they're gonna be like the exoskeleton to various sizes set aside. Like you
Oh.
share, like you save old shoes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like
It'd be
you
like,
save
baby
yeah,
baby
shoes.
shoes.
you
For
save
sale,
babies'
baby
previous
exoskeleton.
heads.
Never used.
Yep.
Bring it out at like Christmas or something, and then they'll be like,
embarrassing.
"Dad, that's so embarrassing.
Mhm.
Stop bringing my exoskeleton out to show my dates. God."
Really awkward pictures where she's missing one fang.
Oh.
Missing one leg.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's growing
bad
back the
mold.
little nub.
Yep.
She's in the process of consuming the lost one, so you
Yep.
got the nutrients to grow the new one.
Yeah.
It's just hanging out of her mouth.
Protein.
Yep.
Like one,
Dad, I
yeah, just
said
like
not first.
one little arm. You know.
The good content.
That's
so-
a 26 Arcana or 21 Medicine, depending on which one you wanted.
Excellent. I want the Arcana. The medically, she's like sustained some injuries. She's looking better since she got a heal spell. You know, that's fine. But Arcana wise, she absolutely still has some magic affecting her. There is still some form of curse. And in fact, you had a good interaction with her before, right? When you guys first came into town and gave her your
Yeah.
gift. You rolled an Arcana at that time to sort of realize that she had some sort of curse that she was fighting off in order to even speak with you at all. You feel like that curse has been amplified. She's got some kind of further cursing
Eee.
that has occurred, and you imagine that this might be related to the magic that Eliphas Dartmoor was working. Now that you had a good look at the runes in the Great Hall of the Citadel, which you'll recall were kind of a power source for this place, and that was what he tapped into to cast his arcane gate. But he was doing something ritually in that room before he cast the arcane gate. And he had a magical connection with someone off-site that you were able to see, right? This magical thread that went out into the hills. You think that magic, whatever he was doing, altered or reinforced the curse that is on Nightshade, and you suspect that Nightshade's current unconscious state has more to do with the magic curse than anything to do with her injuries.
Oh, she got Sleeping Beautied.
Her curse is
We
doubled
need
itself. Some could say it's recursive.
Alton Perny, like, do you think our friend back in Mud Hollow or anyone at the university could help with this?
I think I've never abducted a head of state, so I like the cut of your jib. This sounds like a delightful new adventure.
Not quite what I meant, but okay.
I mean, so we must think about the fact that a great deal of the conscious leadership of the city right now is involved in the Raven Cult, and the Raven Cult seems to have been behind this attack on her. So there may be no one to turn to for protection for her other than us.
Are there any clerics we trust?
I would
'Cause,
like
like,
to
Fetid had a curse and we got that sorted out, right?
True.
scuttle off to the restroom. And Lane, I'm gonna be consulting my mirrored friends about ways that I might be able to help lift this curse.
Okay.
I'll
So
be
just quickly, I just want to sort of set the stage here, make sure everyone is realizes what's going on. So everybody in the city out here, all of these soldiers that were involved, saw you guys do the crazy dragon stuff and then turn into your party, and they're still doing mop up and all this sort of things going on. absolutely no one is going to have any awareness of where Nightshade currently is.
Yeah.
Because you got Nightshade out of the Citadel, where she was under attack completely unbeknownst to the city. And I want to remind you guys, just because I know we had a big break here, so I want to make sure everyone remembers. But you, Tromlin, saw the known Raven cult members. You got this information from the Thieves Guild, Zook and Zaya Greytower, two of the higher ranked members of the House Greytower, who you know from the Thieves Guild were powerful members of the Raven cult. You saw them go off upstairs during all of the craziness that was happening during the attack. And then the Raven cult demons, the Vilden Ravin, attacked. So I believe last time you had already put together that it's
Maybe
probably those two
related.
that
Mhm.
that engineered this, clearly an assassination attempt on Nightshade using the Vilden Ravin. So nobody knows that happened except you guys. And then you teleported Nightshade to the top of this tower, which is abandoned while all of the guards that were there were going down to the gates and out to fight the barbarians.
So she's pretty
So
secure
currently-
in that no one knows where she is.
For the current moment, people know that you're on this tower because you just sort of flew/ran up the wall to get there. That wasn't like done in secret or anything. So they know that like the party, or at least some of you, are on that particular tower. They don't know what you're doing there. And they're kind of preoccupied right now. But so basically, I just want to point out that probably nobody even knows anything about Nightshade being missing yet. And certainly no one but you guys knows where she is,
Right.
other than El Gato, who
And
was
maybe
with.
that's for the better,
Maybe that's good.
Yeah. Witness
especially
protection.
with the assassination attempt. Yeah.
Now we also
Right.
need to remember that with that curse on, they probably can scry wherever she's at.
Maybe.
The bad guys, quite possibly.
Yeah.
My two plans are both terrible, but I think you'll like them. My suggestions are either abduct a head of state and take her somewhere to seek magical healing, which is fun. I've never done that. It's on my bucket list. Or go kill the great frost form of the north, who I believe to be the source of the curse. Also, something I've never done before. Also, wildly dangerous. Or both. You know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
Who's to
both
say?
are sounding good.
Yeah.
Can we hold off a second? I just have to go to the bathroom. I don't want to miss the conversation.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a nap
Oh, in
and
real
some
life.
food
Okay.
before we
No, not in
go
real life.
fight a
As an
dragon.
excuse
sorry, your
to
character.
consult the wilds.
So I'm tired. That was a big fight.
It is
Yeah.
quite late.
Yeah.
I
I'm
am,
really
After
hungry
midnight,
now
yeah.
too. I'm like real hungry.
I am wondering if we do want to do a short rest so that I can invisibility everybody with 2 castings, and we just get as far as we can out of the city invisible, so that we wake up in the woods in a hiding
just
spot that it finds us,
yoink
and we can figure out what
Nightshade away from town.
Yes.
Well, I was thinking that we could have her roommate with our multi-eyed buddy
Mhm.
as a nomad zone.
So have Gary like watch her down in the
Yeah,
tunnels
but then
while we go do
also
our
hopefully
stuff.
that would stop people from being able to scry on her.
Maybe.
That is
Everybody-
definitely something that's a ways away, right? Because Gary's still back in Dormerdale.
Oh right, it's a different city.
But
Maybe we
like,
should get in touch with our big important wizard buddy. See if he knows, because I think we can trust him. God, name is escaping me.
Oh, Dangolf.
Dangolf?
Oh, time for the hat
yeah,
again.
Dangolf. Yeah.
I am Dangolf, and Dangolf means me.
I wanted to consult my mirrored oracle friends.
Yeah. First
Absolutely.
while
In
we're,
private,
while we're still
Okay.
because I rarely do in front of
talking.
my group.
In front
So,
of these mortals.
Morgan's be like, I need to take a shit.
I'm
BRB.
back. And we're
Um,
like, but we're on a tower. What?
Poop over
So
the
you go
side. It's what
down-
I do.
You're
So,
basically
yeah, I'll
going
just-
down into the tower.
Yeah, I'll go down into the tower a little bit, and then I'll be consulting my
You just like
my
Misty Step.
mirrors.
Hmm.
And be like,
So
do
you
we
have
think that-
you have a couple options here.
yeah.
So you generally get like kind of random little bits of information from the spirits, like through your through the mirrors and reflections and stuff. That's not like, you know, like a portal into Arcadia or anything. That's just
Yeah.
you uh where there are fae spirits everywhere. They're kind of using that to alert you to things. Going kind of for something more significant would require either finding some fae to speak to, or summoning some fae to speak to, because you do have the ability to summon fae.
Yeah.
And
That's
just like
kind of what I was
specifically turn that spell towards, rather than just like the usual use of this spell where you go, hey, summon fae, and you just get some little warrior helpers. Summon fae, I need to talk to someone who knows something.
I want to speak to the manager.
Just
That's
pairing up some
basically it,
fae.
yeah.
Fairy Karen.
Yeah.
So I don't remember which spells slots you're out of. I believe you're out of third level spell slots, but I'm pretty sure you have enough low level spell slots and sorcery points left to buy yourself a third level spell slot and cast that one.
And my vial, is that daily or rest?
Your
Associated.
vial is per day, and
Okay.
you've already used it.
Yeah. But I think I used 6.
You
according to my
you have
notes.
you regained
Minus
almost
6.
up to full, and you've only used a few since then. So
Yeah.
you're probably in the neighborhood of like at least 5 or 6 sorcery points remaining.
Yeah. So I'll
5
definitely.
sorcery points buys a level 3 spell, but you also gain 2 for a
short
first level
rest.
spell. So you can probably just like drop 1 first level spell slot and 3 sorcery points, bam, or 4 sorcery points or whatever. 2 first level spell slots, and no, it's
I'll
5.
I'll do the 5 because silver barbs is too useful to not
Okay.
have on hand.
So you burn 5 sorcery points, you can cast your third level spell.
Yeah.
And you can kind of like trying to get someone important or someone who can talk to someone important. You can maybe like throw a wild magic, some luck into this.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Is that
So give
advantage
me
or just a bonus?
so it's just gonna, because this isn't like really the use of this spell, I'm just using this to goose it.
Okay.
So I'll roll for the effect of your wild magic surge.
Okay.
No, that doesn't make any sense. I'm switching that one out. Oh, this is a rough one for you, but this is very appropriate to have some
Okay.
sacrifice. So you are still
I'm
cursed by
taking a
being
very-
bright blue, right?
It's a wild magic shit, so if you guys could just like play some music or talk loudly.
Turn the faucet on.
Don't worry, I'm gonna press the digitation it up, okay?
So it's
If
real
you were
loud.
dropped a deuce so
yeah,
big,
all
yeah,
of your-
trigger a wild magic
All of your
surge.
hair falls out.
Ah!
You are now not only blue, but you're bald. You basically look like Seder Blue Man Group.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
Oh,
Oh no.
In the meantime,
does that
Bernie's
mean
loudly
for-
singing The Entertainer to try and give it cover.
I'm just thinking now- Arrested Development, I blew myself.
Do you still have your satyr legs, or are they like Sphinx cat now? Are you just
Oh,
all
no.
smooth?
Yep. No, they're all smooth.
Oh,
Yeah.
Look at
It's,
them drumsticks.
it'll take within 24 hours to grow it back.
oh,
some sweatpants.
So,
You summoned
I'm
Nair.
so mad.
yep.
So bad.
So you start to like really work on this spell, and you're trying to like, you're not really a ritual spellcaster, but you're trying to kind of ritualize this and turn it and be like, I need to talk to someone important about very important person. Is the name Nightshade meaning to you? Yeah, and you're looking in the mirror, and your reflection in the mirror, as you're sort of talking about this, goes like, ooh, like this is going to be a tall order, and the reflection in the mirror starts getting like looking scared, and then like her hair starts to fall out, and she's like, she's like pulling tufts of hair out because she's like, and then she's like, 1 second. She does like the motion, and then she like drops to out the bottom of frame in the mirror, and then your normal reflection kind of reappears, and you realize that you have lost all of your hair.
Collapse to the ground.
Oh no.
I'm holding the remnants of my hair and my beautiful fluffy fur in my hands, and
Yep.
I'm crying.
That's what it felt like when I got a bath.
Oh,
Crying.
No. Yeah.
Um,
Oh no, you just have a nub for a tail now. It's just
Oh
a nub.
no.
the hairless Sphinx satyr.
Oh no.
You have mange.
So sad.
Blue mange.
And
Blue mange.
as
group.
you're-
Hey.
As you're, oh,
I'll see myself out.
as you're weeping, amid your lost fur, this nest, you hear the music of the Feywilds.
Oh, this is so embarrassing.
Mhm.
This is so embarrassing. No,
And
I have anything
Tromlin-
left.
Tromlin, as you and Copernicus are kind of doing like, now that you've kind of burned through all the healing spells, you're kind of doing some medical treatment between the two of you, just kind of like binding up Nightshade's remaining visible wounds, double checking the last few that Fetid and Copernicus have accumulated as well. And you also hear the music of the Feywilds.
Oh, perk up.
Just desperately
No one else does.
throwing out everything from my purse, and I'm like pulling out scarves and covering myself.
Oh no.
So embarrassing to be seen this way, especially when I'm calling like on like the Fey demigods. Oh my god.
Like getting caught without pants on Zoom.
Yeah.
The worst.
I walk towards the music. I'm bringing my daughter with me because she's part Fey.
Yep.
If-
It seems to be coming from down where Morgan went
It's
into the
coming
tower.
from the bathroom.
Along with sobs.
I will
Along
I
with
walk in and
whimpers and
see-
sobs.
Morgan in her state, I will take my cloak off and put it over her.
Oh.
Gonna yell,
Hey,
"Get
Such
out
a
of here!
gentleman.
Get out of here!"
Bernie's
So
just,
what
Bernie's
I'll
just
do-
doing
Like,
painter
so
louder and
upset.
louder.
Like, get,
You look
just
at me.
like, get out of my room!
So what I'll do, hang on, before, so you will get to where Morgan is, and sort of like listen at the door, hear the music of the Feywild and this weeping, and so you sort of like crack the door to check on, like, is everything okay? And before you kind of like, before Morgan notices you and before you have a chance to do or say anything about Morgan, the walls of this little chamber that you've gone down to in order to have this little private time are basically not there. They're either overgrown with like vines and foliage, or more likely, this is no longer in this place. And before you can even sort of like retake stock or crack the door, you sort of like, as you're standing cracked at this door, you kind of taken aback, you look around and you realize that you also are now within the Feywilds. You're no longer in the little stone corridor in the tower that led to this door. You're at like a door that is in a hollow tree. And when you look behind you, there's just more briar patch. And you're there with Webby. And Webby immediately
Signed over,
delightedly
that's
starts to
customer
scuttle
service.
up the tree. And then you turn back, and now Morgan is like within a glade, and not a room at all. And in fact is like throwing these silken scarves and stuff around yourself. Various little fairy creatures are helping you, like they're just appearing out of the woodwork. They are immediately assisting you. You know, it seems to be that they've taken upon themselves to just assist Morgan in what she is doing. And you notice, Tromlin, before you immediately are like, ooh, she's just in distress. I'm going to go over there and help. As you kind of take steps to do so, you note that there are other fairy creatures here, little gnomes, little brownies and red caps of the wood, kneeling.
Fucking red caps? Oh no.
Just whatever sort of critters are in this particular place. So like the little things will stick their heads up out of the rocky holes in the ground. Little like red cap types or little knockers and mining imps, gnomes, but also pixie types floating around in the trees and in the air. And they're generally bowing or kneeling or otherwise being deferential, averting their eyes, certainly, in Morgan's direction as you walk out. And that is when Morgan, Tromlin comes out to throw his cloak over you, and you can be like, "Get out of my room," which clearly means the Feywild, I guess.
It's hard to get out of the Feywild once it summons.
No, you're
Oh,
muted. Sorry,
muted.
Morgan. Sorry.
She's like inconsolable and ugly crying, like snot.
Do
Like-
I have any like first level spells left?
Calm emotions.
I believe, let me just double check the number that you cast. You have several that you can cast, even though you, I think you're out of cleric slots. You still have magician slots, and you also have things that you can cast without a slot. What are you thinking
Well, I
of?
mean, I was gonna cast Calm Emotions, but it's a second level spell, so I can't do that.
Yeah, that you're out of.
And I just somehow don't think Vicious Mockery is gonna help this situation.
No, probably not.
Depends on what you think helping.
Sleep.
Yeah.
You could bolster with like a word of resolve or a guidance or something along
Yeah.
those
I
lines.
might do that then. Word of resolve.
Word of resolve. Damn, that's a lot of ass.
It's now visible. It's not covered in fluff.
It's like,
Now I see
Yeah,
why you
made
covered
worse
it all.
by the fact
Yes.
that she, like, in being covered in like thick fur, she just wore like sheer, like, skirts and stuff that went over top. So now her ass is like just fully out.
Oh man.
Cromlin will attempt to be, say something flirty and polite, like, well, now I say why you cover up, because no one can handle this much gorgeous.
Just like sobbing,
Aw.
just trying to cover herself down. Oh my goodness. For
Cromlin
what?
offers a comforting hug.
Mm-hmm.
She will accept begrudgingly.
Aw.
I'm creating a new
Okay.
meme.
this is like, there's like a narrow line between comforting satyr hug and both characters having the hedonism flaw. But-
I assumed that
It's hard
she
to feel
was
sexy when
lesbian.
you're blue.
Yeah.
Hey,
Lots of blue
Cromlin
fairies out there
doesn't
are
turn
sexy.
down much.
Yep.
He's like just another color of beauty.
Oh no, they smurfed you.
Blue's just a skin
Oh,
color,
no.
baby.
What?
You got smurfed.
Alina, no.
See, I've been
you
trying to
just
not
draw?
make a blue balls joke this whole fucking time.
No, but you got like the little blue nub tail, just like a smurf.
There you go. I will point out you still have striking looks.
Yeah, you're still gored. Like, Tromlin will actually turn to her and say, "Look, I know you're not happy with the situation, but you're still hotter than pretty much everyone else we know, and you know it. The only thing is you've done is show that there's no situation where you're not sexy."
She'll be like, just like gobs and goo just coming out of her nose.
He's pulling out like a
fully
handkerchief,
straight.
You
pulling a
can
handkerchief and wiping her nose, like
you
calming
can
her.
prestidigitate that shit.
That's true.
You can like full on go like, well, both of you can. I think you
Yeah,
both have prestidigitation.
But Tromlin doesn't do that. Like, he's just trying to help her feel better.
She's...
I don't want to interrupt, so
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
carry on with the role play, and I will let you know. So, as you're sort of you know, comforting / cleaning up / ogling each other. I don't know, whatever. I keep forgetting you both have striking looks.
We're both absurdly hot, and we're
Yep.
both hedonistic. But weirdly, we have not hit on each other.
Yeah.
Game recognized game.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Nice game. We've competed with each other, that's for sure.
Yeah, but at the same time, we're just like, hey, buddy, how you doing? Just,
Yeah.
oh my god, if we ever team up against somebody,
I competed with you for some nymph
that's
and
right.
lost,
Oh
which
yeah.
will
and I got
forever
caught,
be
I got
my
caught in the
bane.
middle of that, and Ugna was just beside herself.
But Tromlin is like, you know, I would make you roll for it, but it's player characters, it's fine. But like, you know, it's like, hey, hairlessness can be is considered a bonus in a lot of circumstances, and you know, think about the lack of friction.
You know,
That's
professional swimmers shave.
You're just gonna go faster?
Yeah.
Professional, a lot of things shave things. But anyway,
So yes, Tromlin would do his best
Like
to
a-
comfort as whatever's happening happens.
yeah, and so after this goes on for a while, there's like an and you sort of both turn and notice a lady who is somewhat slight in height. She's like probably about 5 foot nothing, but she looks taller because she's floating off the ground, and she has antlers. She has stark white antlers, sort of an antelope style, with the long prongs. And she's basically naked, except she's got like some diaphanous green floating silks kind of around her. And there's just like a stream of little pixie things kind of like orbiting her like electrons, like butterflies and other spirits. And she's like clearly like been there for some time as you were having your conversations about the situation.
Morgan will like sit up on her knees. Hi.
And Morgan, you know her. You have seen her before. God, I got too many tabs open here. There we go. That's the right one.
Show us your tabs.
Yeah. So you know that she is the Lady Moon Whisperer, and that she is royalty among the Fae. So we're not talking like the Fae
Yes.
god types necessarily, just royalty, right?
Hmm. No,
Actually, you know what? I'm going to say that she is a relative, in fact. That's the most likely thing that would respond.
I'll motion to Trom to also kneel.
Oh yeah, honestly, I'm pulling my daughter out of the tree and showing her the proper way to show respect.
Yep. You can sort of like scuttle off and kind of go like, come on, get her down and like show her the right thing to do. As you do so, um, Lady Moon Whisper will kind of cock an eyebrow at you, Morgan, and like reach down one hand, like almost childlike, and just boop you on the nose and break the curse of blue. She'll just do a remove curse on you. Your hair is still missing, but but that grows back. But you are no longer blue.
Dabba-dee, dabba-die.
Dabba-dee, dabba-die. You no longer blue, dabba-dee. I don't remember how it goes.
Thank you very much. This
And she says,
is not what I asked for you today.
Why have you summoned me?
There's a lot going on, and I don't expect you to solve all of my problems, but there's someone of great importance to this territory and to people who are very dear to me that is under a curse. We are uncertain of how to lift it, and for this, I would ask of your assistance.
Ah, yes. I know of whom you speak, for this is her city. I could not have come here if not for, and she kind of nods at Tromlin and says, the magic that weakens these places. And as she says that, Tromlin, and you're kind of standing respectfully back with holding Webby's hand, a number of Fae start to sort of like tug at your clothing. You sort of like, to get your attention, you sort of turn around and there's like a handful of other satyrs and smaller, like more of the fawn sized satyr types. And they are like clearly delighted to see you. And a couple of them are all have like wine and food stained faces, and they're already sort of like offering you their cups that they have been drinking as they slosh them a little on themselves. And they mutter, not wanting to like interrupt the conversation, so they're not loud, but they're like muttering to you. It's like, brother, brother, you have come. And a couple of like the smaller pixie types are sort of like being at these clothes and kind of dancing a bit with her, and she starts kind of dancing with them as well. Basically be offered things. I'd like you to make an initial sort of willpower save, just based on your hedonistic nature. Just you, Randy.
Okay. Willpower?
Yeah.
Let's see. Where does that say that? You mean, where is my willpower save?
Oh, sorry. Wisdom.
Okay, that makes more sense. I was like, willpower, that's a 3.5.
I still did wisdom and reflex.
I still call it that. It's the same damn thing, but different name.
I rolled the wrong thing. I rolled a D8. Hold on.
Yeah, that would be a very bad saving throw.
That was not very good. I was like, huh. And I rolled a 1 on the D8 too, which made it even worse.
Like, why is the one so much bigger than it usually is? It's mocking me.
Yeah. That would be a 22.
Oh, hey. So you can sort of like, maintain your own control. Basically, this isn't like obviously malicious. Just immediately the Fae want to party with you. It's like women Fae want you, and other Fae want to be like, oh no.
That's perfect.
It's
That's
Morgan.
perfect and so mean, and I love it. That's what I was referencing in terms of vicious mockery being helpful or not. Vicious mockery as a form of comfort is definitely an indigenous thing.
So basically, Tromlin, you can kind of like master yourself in terms of like you immediately sort of like instinctively go to like, oh, don't mind if I do. Oh, wait, right, fairy drink and food, and maybe I won't partake. I will politely decline. And the Moon Whisper says, I know of the curse of which you speak. It has been much on the minds of the courts of the north. What do you know of the Dark Lady and her involvement with the Eternal War, the Shadow War, she'll call it?
Not a lot. It's not been important to me until very recently. Which is a bit of a pain in the ass because I was looking more for the fuck around portion and not the find out portion. But from everything I've heard, she's pretty fucking cool. And the people I've learned this from are pretty cool. And I want to save her, even if it's costly. It's not
You
just
will not.
important to me
You.
or the people I know.
So you will not find a great deal of help among, or you normally would not find a great deal of help among the Seelie because the memories are long. The Dark Lady was once of the Unseelie court, long, long ago, but she chooses to remain aloof from the long Shadow War. And so she has largely been apart from the struggle. But now that the Unseelie are rising in power through their machinations, it is the Seelie who are trying to fight back. And some among the Seelie would have no interest in saving the Dark Lady or bringing her out of her current predicament. But others recognize that her current state is a boon to the Shadow Court. Where do you stand in this matter? So I'll just gonna quickly point out that like you get what she's kind of talking about. If Nightshade used to be like an important person in one of the courts, the members of their court, these are immortal beings. They're once on the other side, always on the other side. I don't trust that bitch, kind of thing. But you're pretty young, like compared to the Fae beings that you are descended from. You're very, very young. So whether or not you give a shit about any of that stuff is kind of up to you.
I personally don't feel like holding over her head the removal of this curse, because I know that it already benefits not only myself but others. But I also know that doing so could be a pretty big statement. Having her visibly side with us, have accepted this help, makes us look better, makes them look worse, and could mean a lot socially and within community. We could also front load the effects of this curse removal to make that more visible if that's what is required to be able to help her.
Okay, why don't you make me a persuasion check here? So this is like full on Fae politics. Tromlin, it is becoming very
Fucking
apparent to you watching this.
band politics, man.
Uh-huh. It'd be like that.
Oh, this is why I'm not on Chief and Council. All right.
What's
So
it
that
be?
is persuasion.
Yep.
Can I use favored niece as an advantage?
That's the thing. Call on your favors from your aunties. That's how you win in one of these fights. Get the
I
aunties
will
on your
go for
side.
I'll do that. I'll give you advantage.
Okay.
Was it? Can I do an
Largely because of the
assistance here?
sacrifice.
I have an aunt on council. Okay.
Or you're one of them.
They were both all right. 14 and 17.
Okay,
Plus
well, 17 is quite good.
Good.
Yeah.
25. Randy, sorry, you were trying to say something, or were you just
I was
asking?
asking if I do an assistance on that roll.
Definitely not, because you really don't know these politics. Like,
Fair enough.
But you are like getting a really interesting story out of here. You're somewhat distracted by the Fae around you, but you made your saving throw, so you're basically kind of like you're not like brushing anyone off rudely, but you're sort of like participating in some of the revelry without participating too much in the revelry. And paying enough attention here that you realize Morgan's like got some inside knowledge on Fae politics here, like on like the high level shit. She seems to have like whoever this like powerful fairy creature is that is manifesting the Feywild here is like got some connection to Morgan.
My pay grade.
And so you're kind of like absorbing some of this and being like, okay, I'm interested in hearing what this is all about. So Morgan, you make a good argument that like it's probably not a bad idea for the Seelie to be helping out Nightshade. You're thinking about what the Pixies were doing was probably a good move. That you mentioned the Necrogog maybe, and sort of go there's like a major assist happening on their side that we don't have on our side, and maybe Nightshade could be sort of persuaded to break some of her neutrality. And so she will say, very well, then I will tell you what is known. A powerful curse has been used here, and the power for that curse has been great enough that it has overcome those wards placed over the centuries by the Dark Lady herself. So much so that her own power is in part being used against her. This requires power of a scale that is beyond the means of most mortal wizards. But there is such a power in the north. There is such a source of energies that can be harnessed. It is not thought that those energies have been harnessed willingly. There is a dark, evil magic here, magic of the undead. And that magic has been used to harness the power of the north, the power that resides in the wastes, the worm's power. And it is that power that is being used to create this spell. A dark wizard is behind this, but that dark wizard relies heavily on the power of the undead that has been granted to him. The nature of this trap, this method of harnessing the power of the worm, that we do not know. But the undead magic is surely at its root. And if that magic were to be undone, then the spell could be broken. Likewise, if the worm were to be slain, the power would also be broken, but I cannot imagine the slaying of the worm is the easier course.
Got more info on this fucking worm? We've been killing lots of fucking crazy shit. And I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind adding it to my list.
The great dragons are a power unto themselves, on par with the power of the Feywilds. I do not know that I would pit myself against such primal forces. But then that is exactly what is being done. The undead magic is tapping into that power. Again, how we do not know, or how is not known. If you can find the Dark Wizard and find the way in which this spell has been enacted, how the power of the Great Worm has been tapped, that would be my recommendation. That would be the best way.
Okay.
And that is the information that you get from your seer feat, which I haven't used to give you some insight for a while. So that's a big one for you.
Oh my god. I just started crying.
All right. I won't let you go empty-handed. And so Morgan pulls out from her now slightly looser top the amethyst magical item that she had pocketed and offers it up as a thank you.
Okay. Gift. Well, in that case, she will bow and accept this moonstone from you. And she will say, go with the blessings of the court, child. And know that your sire is proud. And she'll turn as she says that to Tromlin and say, the family is proud of all of you. And she'll look at Tromlin when she says that. And then she will lay a blessing on your ass, which I'm going to decide the nature of during the break, because that's a pretty powerful gift you just gave up. And yeah, there is like a number of Fae dancing around you and looking for some revelry here. But I think Tromlin's made his saving throw, and Morgan is kind of not in the mood. So I will leave it there. So let's take a break. I let it go a little long because we started late. But let's take our break here and reconvene in 10 minutes or so.
Right.
For the latter half of this story.
See you all in a few.
Sounds good.